welcome back to another review. This time we are doing a nail polish review from Nature's Cartel in the color Rose Gold. Yeah, that is not a typo, nor did I say it wrong, that is the name. So anyways, I'm very happy with it just because I've been on a huge rose gold kick anyway lately, and it's a very pretty color. That part of it I adore. It is absolutely perfect in that regard, especially for me, since it's been like my favorite thing lately. But anywho, I think this was an Ipsy exclusive because I went to their website and it's not there anywhere, or anything even remotely similar to it, which is kind of a bummer because I'm like, I'm so in love with it, I would definitely probably buy more, except that apparently I can't unless I want to go to eBay or something, which that just sucks. But it's this very frosted metallic rose gold color. Like, you can see some of the swirls in there and the way that the color looks. I believe this costs $12 a bottle on their website for, you know, colors they actually have. I suppose if this were on there, you could get it for that, but since it's not there, kind of a moot point. It is a 10 milliliter bottle, so 0.33 fluid ounces. That's pretty much on par with nail polish size bottles. That's very standard, in my opinion. Just very basic, squared bottle, normal little cap. It's a little bit textured to hold your grip on it better, so that's nice. Cute packaging, by the way. I'm kind of really in love with, like, this polka dots and watercolor motif. Just everything about this screams out to me. So anyway, it is 10 free and non-toxic, so it's free of formaldehyde, toluene, DBP, camphor, formaldehyde resin, xylene, parabens, perfumes, animal ingredients, benzophene 1, GMOs, phthalates, nickel, and lead. And it's vegan, and it's cruelty-free, so there's that. They recommend tossing 12 months after opening. But it's nail polish, we all know I won't, so I got some that are older than me, that were my mom's, from the 70s. You know what? They're still good. I mean, some of you may think I'm disgusting for that, but, like, they still work fine. Like, they're not even clumpy. I don't know what black magic is going on there. I've had a few of them where I've added, like, an eyedropper with, like, a few drops of either nail polish remover to some of them, depending on what type they are. Other ones I have nail polish thinner, where you do the same thing. A couple little drops in there, shake it up, let it sit for about a day, try that shit again, and it works like magic. Downside when you do that, if it's one of these, it's like 10 free or whatever the number free, you kind of just undid that because now it's got chemicals in it. So you can keep using it, but it's not as healthy as it once was. So that is your trade-off, but just saying, I definitely use them long past when they claim to toss by, because frankly, I don't play by those rules when it comes to nail polish, because they're still fine. Very rarely do I find ones that are, like, so dried up and hardened up to where I'm like, okay, it has to be tossed, but usually I can save them. So I do. Anywho, so, like I said, it's this beautiful, beautiful shade. It's kind of in between rose gold and copper, in my opinion. But I like it. It almost perfectly matches my rose gold caboodle. It's like a couple shades darker, but I'm like, ooh, I'm liking it. I was really surprised with the opacity on this one. Usually I do 3 coats of most nail polishes across the board, no matter what it is, to get the maximum opacity. Sometimes I can get away with 2. This one only took 1 to do it, and I was very skeptical because I was like, yeah, it's fully opaque, but will it stay on? So I tested that first, and I got about the usual amount of wear out of it. Obviously, I put a clear top coat over it, and got about a week out of it. So when I redid them, I put on 2 coats, and about the same deal, about 2 weeks. So then I started just topping up on top of what I'd already put down, and that's where things started to go awry and fall apart and flake and get funky, like at the tips and at the cuticles, and some of them would come off entirely. Like, I had to redo the pinky earlier, and my index finger. That's why they're the only ones that look like perfect right now. Yeah, I don't know. It's not perfect, but it's not terrible. But, I mean, it actually, for being 10 free, I was surprised that it didn't take, like, ages to dry, even in cold weather. Because usually that seems to be one of the trade-offs when they're healthier, is that they take frigging forever to dry, and they piss me off for it. And usually it turns me off of them, even though I know they're better to use. But this one isn't like that. It's actually very decent with its dry times. So between that and it having about average wear on it, I do like it a lot, especially that I can get away with a single coat of this. You only have to sit through the dry time once, so I'm like, perfect! I just wish that they had it on their website to be able to buy again when it's gone, because I have a feeling I'm going to really, really be into this one, because this appeals to me massively. It does have a very heavy chemical smell for being 10-free, which I kind of wasn't surprising. I thought for that it would smell less, but it smelled just as much, if not more, so I've had mixed results with that, with the healthier ones, so I don't know what's up with that, but that was a thing. The brush itself, just to show you it, I mean, I have no issues with it, I just want to show you it so you know what you're getting when you buy it and when you use it. It's just a standard brush, nothing special going on here. One thing with it being like a frosted metallic, oh my god, why is my phone dinging at me? With it being a frosted metallic, every brush stroke shows up. So you have to be really careful to get everything nice and even and smooth and all. Okay, hold on 1 second. Boy, you know those messages you get where it just like deflates your entire mood? Yeah. Okay, well, gonna try to not let it ruin the video anyway, so I think where I left off I was talking about with the frosted metallics, you have to be really careful with every stroke to be as even as you can and as straight as you can, because you're going to see every brush stroke, so you want them to all be matching in direction and thickness and everything, because otherwise it's gonna look funky. On one of the ones I topped up on, it's not quite even. Well, I mean, it's also chipped now, but I mean, if we can see it, I'm too close. Let me do it this way, since I have it handy. Let's do it this way. Can we see the crooked part? Look how bad that looks, with the big old crooked one in it. Like, no, you gotta do it straight. It looks so much better when it's straight. Again, this one has a foobar in it too, but I just topped that one up, and these, same direction aside from that chip part underneath, but I mean, they're the same direction. That looks better, right? Right. So, there's that. But, goodness. You just have to be careful with it. So that's one thing I know a lot of people do dislike about the frosted metallics. It doesn't bother me. I grew up on frosted metallics being an 80s baby, and those were weirdly some of the only nail polishes I was allowed to wear for years, both by my mom's rules and even the school that I went to first's rules. You could have very, very, very pale pink, and that was it. This would probably be too dark by their rules, even. It has to be lighter than that. It couldn't be any darker than about... Do I have something nearby that's about the color I'm talking about? Yeah. Can't be about darker than that. That's not even really pink. But just for the level of ridiculousness of this private Catholic school, yeah. So, a lot of girls would opt at least have the metallic shimmer that way, even when it was super light, because it felt like we were wearing more than we actually were. So for me, this kind of feels like a throwback thing to my childhood, and it kind of is, but I like it anyway. But for how easily it does start to chip, that bugs me, because even apart from like the normal lifespan of how long it generally stays on, it takes almost no effort to bump into something and have it go and come off. Not the nail, just the polish. Even with a top coat, even with a base coat. Doesn't seem to matter. So I'm like, oh, well, that's crappy. So I do dock a point for that. I do dock a point for it not being easily accessible to buy from their own company or anything, and that it was an exclusive thing, and apparently probably can't buy it again. And it's kind of pricey for what it is. That said, I'm not doing this by numbers for how I'm rating it, because otherwise I would have just screwed it over into the ground. But I think I am going to give it a very middle of the road, 3 out of 5. It's not the worst. I do personally adore the way it looks on, and I like the way it dries. I do like an awful lot of things about it. but there's also things that are drawbacks with it too that make me hesitate with it as well, so. I don't know that I would go out of my way to buy from this particular brand of their current line of colors they have on there. A lot of it's just pastels, and I'm like, no thanks. If it were more stuff in this range, I'd like it better, but they're generally super pale pastels, and I'm like, nah. But, it is what it is. That's just my own personal opinions. I know lots of people who adore those and prefer them, and to you guys, more power to you, but I'm just not that into them. So, at least not for nails anyway, but, depending what it is, certain ones I'll make exception for, but usually I'm like, no. There's not even any metallic in there to save it, because at least when they're metallic, it feels, I don't know, better, but, yeah, I don't think I would go out of my way to buy specifically from them, unless I could get this color. So, it is what it is. But anyways, that is really about all I can say for this one. I guess if you got it in your Ipsy, let me know what you guys thought of it, good, bad, or otherwise, and what you think of the color, and frankly, anything else you feel like leaving me about anything. Make sure you're following this account, subscribe to it, I Can Talk, hit the notification bell if you're not already so you never miss an upload, leave comments down below, already said that. Make sure you're following my social media accounts, my Facebook fan page, my Twitter, my Instagram, my Etsy, everything and more, it's all down below, and if you like what I do here on this channel and you'd like to help support it, even $1 gets your name on the end card for a month at the point, from the point of donating. But there are the donator perks that I list at the end of every video if you want to get in on some of those. Anyways, donation link is down in the description too, and in case you haven't heard it today and you need to, I love you and I'm so proud of you for whatever you've done today. So anyway guys, till next time, bye-bye.